How you doing, team? Hi, Narendra R.J. Hope things are going well in India for you, in Rajasthan. So we're up on the orchard block, and these are olive trees that they're all oil olives. Haven't really had a decent crop off them yet. This year I think we'll get a decent crop and we'll try and make our own oil up here. So we've got some fruit trees here. So this is an apple. That's an old apricot variety called Sun Gold, and these trees here, which don't look very spectacular at the moment, are cherry trees. So they came out of a commercial cherry growing orchard. The guy replaced the variety that he was growing and didn't want to destroy the trees, and so he offered them to Graham and Sandy, and they said, yeah, sure, why not? So we had to put netting on them because they used to put the sheep in here, and sheep love eating bark off these trees. Anyway, so what we're looking for is beekeepers. You see these little things here, these are the flower buds. These are where the flowers will come out, and then this year's growth will come out of that. This will become fruit for this year, and what we're looking for is just the coloration. So you can see those are quite brown. I'll just put you on pause for a second. And through the magic of television, I've magically moved down the orchard. You can see some of those have got, hopefully it's showing up in the camera, some of those have got a slight reddish colour at the tips. So these little brown things are a protective casing over the flower buds. And now at this time of the year, so we're at the end of winter, the sap is starting to move in the trees and in the branches. Those are swelling up, and this little protective casing here will pop off and expose the flower, which will expand and open. And somebody was supposed to come up into this block and prune it and never did. It's a bit too late now, really. I mean, it's not critical, it's just a small orchard block, but we'll have to do that next year. As soon as the fruit's off, you can prune. So this one here is a pollination tree. So it's a cherry, but it doesn't produce any fruit. What it does do, though, is it produces flowers. And you can see that better on the flowers on this one. See how that's, try and turn it into the sun there. See how it's got that sort of red coloration to it. So, so what happens is my honeybees will come and visit this tree here, and then they'll get pollen on them from this and the other pollination trees that are dotted through this block, and then they'll visit the fruit trees, and it just gives a better fruit set. They'll also pollinate from other trees in here, but we can get the bees into these. So there's one there, there's one here, and that one there is another pollinator. So they don't produce any fruit, but the reason you have them in a block is to help with the pollination. Pollinating fruit trees is a huge industry in Central Otago now. It never used to be. When I was an apprentice in the mid-80s, it was laughed at. I actually asked an orchardist if I could put some beehives into one of his orchards, and he laughed at me. They're not laughing now because we've got the varroa mite in. That's wiped out. All of the wild colonies in New Zealand are wiped out. So the only wild colonies that we have now are populated from swarms, and they don't survive 2 years. We don't have enough genetic diversity in our bee population in New Zealand to really develop any natural resistance. Someone was, I think it was Sarah C, was saying the other day that when they needed to use a control, a fatal bee control, for testing for varroa, they would just simply not treat hives, and the colonies would collapse every time. So in other countries, you've got a lot more genetic diversity, and you don't have that issue anywhere near as badly as we have it. So because of that, we've got no wild colonies left. And so the orchardists are not laughing now, because they have to now pay a premium to get beekeepers in to pollinate their fruit trees. So it's a huge business now. I worked on an orchard for 5 years, basically to see how the system worked. And that was enough to tell me I didn't want to have honeybees anywhere near the blasted places. I'm sure there are orchardists, and there are orchardists in Central Otago who use organic practices. Most of them don't. And I will not have honeybees anywhere near an orchard. So, but a lot of beekeepers do. They're quite happy to take the losses because the amount of money they make is just staggering. There's a lot of money in cherry fruit, especially to Asian export markets. So China primarily, Japan. Those are our two major export markets for cherries, and they're prepared to pay huge amounts of money to get New Zealand cherries. And so they want big beautiful cherries on their tables. I want alive honeybees. I'm not prepared to sacrifice honeybee colonies to make money. But then I'm quite passionate about beekeeping. So other people, they're big commercial guys in Central Otago, they're quite happy to take the hits and get the big fat paychecks. Not me. Beautiful day. It's 18 Celsius again. Gorgeous sunny day. So we're getting hot sunny days at the moment and very cold nights. Sorry about the traffic noise. There's a main road out there. It's the road between Alexandra and Clyde.